Hello, Dark Reader, and welcome. Today we are going to present to you a list of young adult reads that have come out in 2023 that are a little dark. Lots of fantasy. I mean, that's just kind of what happens. Some a little more gory, detective thriller. So if that's up your alley, keep listening. If you are looking for some other dark reads and other genres, so like some nonfiction reads, adult fiction, comics, etc., make sure to stay tuned every Wednesday and Friday for all of our podcast episodes. All right, let's get started. It's just me today. So if you are over on YouTube, you'll be able to see all of the book covers, which is kind of fun to see it all side by side. So join us on our socials as well at Dark Side of the Library. The first one I am talking about today, I get all these tangents, I'm sorry. All right, it's Godly Heathens. This is from the Ouroboros series of novels. It's number 1. This is by H.E. Edgmon, and it comes out November 28th. It is, I guess, like, it's going to be a fantasy duology. It says where a teen named Jem finds out they are a reincarnated god from another world. I mean, that's pretty sweet. Jem Eccles is a non-binary. It's called Seminole Teen, living in the tiny town of Gracie, Georgia. Okay, I thought this was going to be very fantasy. We've got a real place here. Known for being their peers' queer awakening, Jem leans hard on charm to disguise the anxious mess they are beneath. The only person privy to their authentic self is another trans kid named Enzo, who's 1,000 long, painful miles away in Brooklyn. But even Enzo doesn't know about Jem's dreams, haunting visions of magic and violence that have always felt too real. So how the hell does Willa Mae Hardy, the strange new girl in town, acts like she and Jem are old friends and seems to know things about them they've never told anybody else. When Jem is attacked by a stranger claiming to be the goddess of death, Willa Mae saves her life and finally offers some answers. She and Jem are reincarnated gods who have known and loved each other across lifetimes. But Jem, or at least who Jem used to be, hasn't always been the most benevolent deity. They've made a lot of enemies in the pantheon, enemies who, like the goddess of death, will keep coming. It's a good thing they still have Enzo, but as worlds collide and the past catches up with the present, Jem will discover that everyone has something to hide. Okay, this sounds pretty cool. I am kind of digging it. I love mythology, so this is definitely up my alley. This is Godly Heathens. This is from the Ouroboros duology of novels by H.E. Edgmon. Next up, we have a book that is really similar to She is a Haunting, which came out, I think, in springtime, with the creepy girl with the bugs, I think, all over her mouth. You'll probably know the cover. This is called Gorgeous, Gruesome Faces. This comes out November 7th. It's by Linda Cheng. Then, Sunny Lee is on top of the world. She's 1/3 of Sweet Cadence, the hottest up-and-coming teen pop group, alongside her new BFFs, Candy and Mina. The three are inseparable as they ride their way to the top of the charts, even as Candy and Sunny fight to resist the growing spark between them. But when the shocking scandal breaks, the group is suddenly torn apart. Then the unthinkable happens. Mina dies tragically right before Sunny and Candy's eyes, and Sunny suspects the dark and otherworldly secrets she and Candy were keeping may have led to that. So, we go to present day. For the past 2 years, Sunny has spent her days longing for her former life and her nights wondering just what caused Mina's death. So when she discovers that Candy is attending a new K-pop workshop right in her hometown, Sunny has no choice but to follow her there. Candy might be chasing stardom again, but Sunny is only after one thing: answers. At this workshop, the lines between nightmare and reality start to blur as Sunny is haunted by ghostly visions and her competitors' bodies turn up bizarrely maimed and mutilated. To survive the twisted carnage, Sunny will have to expose the ugly truth behind the workshops, spotlights, and the sinister forces swirling around Candy. This is a crazy mind-bending thriller about K-pop bands, horror, nightmarish realities. This is Gorgeous, Gruesome Faces. This is by Linda Cheng. Next on our list, I just want to point this out. This is called The Hunting Moon. This is by Susan Dennard. This is number 2 from the Luminaries series of books. I did read the first book, which you can find in our mini-sodes. Just go check that out. It's a pretty solid book. I thought it was really fun. It's about a girl named Winnie Wednesday, and they have like a Thursdays and Friday people. Anyway, great book. I just wanted to let you know that the second one is also coming out. But next to some new reads, we have Last Girl Breathing. This is by Court Stevens. This comes out November 7th. No one expected it to rain that much, but the rain kept coming. The dam broke, the lives were lost. This includes 5-year-old Clay Michaels, who was swept away in the floodwaters. That's really sad. So Clay's sister Lucy has never forgiven herself for her little brother's death. She was supposed to hold on to him and to keep him from harm during that terrible night, and she was supposed to protect him. 8 years later, 17-year-old Lucy is focused on 2 things: making the U.S. Olympic air rifle team and protecting everyone in her life from any type of trauma. That's a lot of responsibility. Jeez. However, with graduation and the Olympics on the horizon, her world is once again shaken with tragedies when tragedy strikes again in Grand Junction, and Lucy is right back in the middle of it. 2 of her closest friends have been hunted down in the nature preserve adjoining the town, the same plot of land where her younger brother died, and the fingers of suspicion are pointing everywhere in the community. Who's the prime suspect? Well, of course, Lucy's ex-boyfriend, somebody new. The more Lucy uncovers about the secrets of those around her, the more she realizes that she too is a target, and now is the time to face her past if she wants to have a future. If you're looking for a thriller, this is Last Girl Breathing. This is for grade level 7 through 9, 13 years and up. This is by Court Stevens. Next on our list today, if you've been listening long enough, you know I will not be picking this up unless if I have the most amount of time, but no shame if you are. This is Nightbane. This is book 2 from the Lightlark Saga by Alex Aster. You can also check out the mini-sode where I talk about the first Lightlark book by Alex Aster. You can find it in our mini-sodes. Definitely go look that one up. This was a best-selling novel, so just so you're aware, book 2 is coming out November 7th. New novel, this one looks really interesting. This is published by Little Brown Books for Young Readers, so pretty good publisher. This is for reading ages 14 and up. Only She Came Back by Margot Harrison. This comes out November 14th. This is a thriller about an unlikely friendship between a true crime fan and a former high school classmate that is suspected of murdering her influencer boyfriend. So interesting. On July 28th at 6:30 p.m., Kiri Dunsmore walks out of the desert wearing her boyfriend's sweatshirt, covered in his blood. Dazed and on the verge of unconsciousness, she tells a cashier that he's still out there, but most likely is dead. The disappearance of Callum Macy, a survival guru with hundreds of thousands of followers on YouTube, rocks the nation, and Kiri is the prime suspect. In Kiri's hometown, Sam is completely hooked on this case, especially now that she recognizes the suspect as Shy Katie from high school. Although they didn't know each other well, that doesn't stop Sam from reaching out to befriend her old classmate. When Kiri starts to confide in her, Sam realizes there's a lot more to the story than she had imagined. Can she keep Kiri's secrets, even though revealing them could put her where she's always longed to be, at the center of the story? I don't know if I like that friendship. She doesn't seem like a nice person. That's just cruel, like kind of taking advantage of people suffering like that and wanting it to be all about you. Good. Ugh. Okay, anyway, this should be pretty interesting. I am excited to check it out, and I probably will. This is called Only She Came Back by Margot Harrison. Our next book of today is a dark fantasy. It's going to be a part of the Powerless trilogy. The first book is called Powerless. This is by Lauren Roberts. This comes out November 7th. I almost didn't put it on because it's perfect for Sarah J. Maas readers, which is, I guess, kind of dark fantasy, but more romance. And that's probably where this book is more towards, but it is dark fantasy. There is some supernatural stuff going on in here. So it says, she is the very thing he's been spending his whole life hunting, and he is the very thing she spent her whole life pretending to be. Only the extraordinary belong in the kingdom of Isla, which is an exceptional, empowered place where the elites are. The power these elites have possessed for decades were graciously gifted to them by the plague. This is in caps. Though not all were fortunate enough to both survive the sickness and reap the reward. Those born ordinary, quote, are just that. They're ordinary. And when the king decreed that all the ordinaries be banished to preserve his elite society, lacking in ability suddenly became a crime. This made Peyton Gray a felon by fate and a thief by necessity. I'm seeing a thief trope happening. Okay, surviving in the slums as an ordinary is no simple task, and Peyton knows this better than most, having been trained by her father to be keenly observant since she was a child. Peyton poses as a psychic in the crowded city, blending in with the elites as best as she can to stay alive and out of trouble, which is easier said than done. Peyton unsuspectingly saves one of Isla's princes. She finds herself thrown into the purging trials. Okay, that's also in bold. The brutal competition exists to showcase the elite's powers, the very thing Peyton lacks. The trials and the opponents within them don't kill her. The prince she's fighting feelings for certainly will if he discovers what she is, completely ordinary. Okay, I have a few questions here. Why would you, drive out all of these ordinary people to preserve your elites, only to have a bloodthirsty, evil competition where you kill each other? Like, why would you do that? Oh, okay. All right. So I may or may not check this out. So this is called Powerless. This is by Lauren Roberts. Next, we have a kind of a fun book. This is similar to Knives Out, and I wanted to incorporate it because I think it's fun. I like detective novels too, and it's a little darker. So it's called The Rosewood Hunt. It came out on Halloween, so a little late. This is by Mackenzie Reed. It's actually number one for YA multi-generational family crime books. We have Lily Rosewood, who has lived with her grandmother since her dad's death a year ago. She and Graham have always been close. Graham's role as chair of their family's luxury coat business has inspired Lily's love of fashion. Lily hopes to follow in Graham's footsteps one day. But Graham dies suddenly, and Lily's world is upended. Graham's $250 million fortune is missing, and Lily has been banned from the manor she and Graham shared. But Graham has always loved games, and even in death, she still has a few tricks up her sleeve. When Lily and 3 other seemingly random teens get letters from Graham sending them on a treasure hunt around Rosetown, they hope the fortune will be the reward. But they're not the only ones hunting for Graham's treasure, and soon the hunt becomes more dangerous than they ever could have imagined. You could see this is totally up the Inheritance or the Inheritance game or Knives Out. It's fun. This is The Rosewood Hunt. This is by Mackenzie Reed. Next up, we have a book that is a part of the Witch's Dice series, maybe duology of books. I like that name, The Witch's Dice. This is for reading ages 12 through 17, pretty lengthy. The first book is 448 pages. This is called A Ruinous Fate. This comes out November 28th, and it's by Kaylie Smith. Enter a world on the brink of war where one more roll from a magical dice may set a witch with a secret down a dangerous path. Fate does not choose the weak. Fate chooses the ready. Oh man, God, this feels like a movie. I feel like I'm a part of something right now. We have Illustros, which is a cursed realm, ruled by, of course, the ruthless gods of fate. No one understands the fates more than Calliope Rosewood. We have another Rosewood. Blessed with unspeakable powers that terrify even the most dangerous witches and fae, Calla hides her forbidden magic in shame and fear that one wrong touch could send her to her death. With only her two best friends in tow, Calla deserted her coven and has been on the run ever since. Worse, Calla is concealing an even darker secret. Fate has chosen her as the final prophesized, quote, blood warrior, the being destined to start the, quote, Fates' war, which will decimate her people and eradicate their magic. What? After a betrayal from her infuriating ex, Ezra leads her one step closer to fulfilling that age-old prophecy. Calla is desperate to do whatever it takes to reset her fate. So, when a mysterious and charming witch offers to help Calla do just that, she immediately agrees to his plan. The only catch? The plan includes journeying into the deadly, never-ending forest with Ezra and said witch, who just so happens to be Ezra's tempting older brother. Torn between her past desires and alluring new possibilities, Calla brings along her best friends to fight what lies ahead. The group ventures into enchanting woods together. They all learn that choosing your destiny comes with dire consequences, and the fates are not to be tested. Calla believes the fates have it out for her, while others believe they have chosen her for a reason. But in the end, Calla will have to fight to forge her own destiny and decide if the risk of choosing herself is worth the possibility of damning everyone else. This sounds very epic, kind of like a dark, epic fantasy. I'm okay with it. This sounds fun. It's actually got some decent ratings already on Amazon. It's a pretty lengthy book, so I'm hoping this is just like a really cool, fantastical, dark journey. This is called A Ruinous Fate. This is a part of the Witch's Dice series, duology. This is by Kaylie Smith. I really love the cover of this particular book, which you will find over on our YouTube channel. This is called Swarm. This comes out November 7th, and it's by Jennifer D. Lyle. It looks like a creepy butterfly bird with teeth in the middle. I don't know. Let's look. It says, on a sunny September morning, the creatures first appear. Sure sees one of them hovering outside the window in history class. It looks like a giant butterfly at first, too beautiful and strange to seem like a threat. But when emergency alerts light up everyone's phones around her, she realizes something is really, really wrong outside. These things are everywhere. By the time Sher makes it back to her house with her older brother, Keen, and their two best friends, it's clear they must face what comes next on their own. This is a terrifying species that the world's never seen before, and it's suddenly emerged, and few living things are safe. As the creatures swarm and attack outside, life for Sher and her friends becomes a survival game. They board the windows, stockpile supplies, and try to make sense of the news reports for as long as the power stays on. Yet nothing can prepare them for what follows. The butterflies are only the beginning, and then the onslaught will be deadlier and even closer to home. I'm not gonna lie, I really had, when I was growing up, I had this fascination of a dystopian novel where something was happening at school and I had to evacuate somewhere with my friends and there was no parents to be seen, and I have the feeling this is going to be similar. I'm really excited for it. This is by Sourcefire Books. This is for grade levels 8 through 12, so 14 through 18 years old. This is Swarm. This is by Jennifer D. Lyle. Next up on our list today, is a book that's similar to The Mist and Evil Dead. It's called To Kill a Shadow, and it comes out November 28th. This is by Katherine Quinn. Jude Maddox knows nothing of love or even light. Oh, Jude! He only knows his grim duty as the Hand of Death. That's in bold. To lead the Knights of the Eternal Star into a land filled with nightmares and certain demise. It's only when he sees her, a young woman with wild amber eyes who's as fierce, defiant, and swift as the shadow beasts themselves, that he feels the warmth of light in his blood. Okay, I kind of love this already. Okay, so the other knights may fear their lethal commander with his hard, merciless demeanor. Outcast, Kiara Frey sees only a leader, a man who knows how to survive, someone like her. But wanting him is as treacherous as the shadows themselves and just as seductive. With the kingdom on the verge of collapse, the knights must now venture into the darkest hearts of the land and uncover the secrets of the misted shadows, where evil will prey upon their minds and feast on their flesh. It will betray their senses, and it will surpass their nightmares. Most of them will die, but they have no other choice, because the only way to fight the darkness is to become it. Okay, this sounds good too. So the publisher is Entangled Teen, and this is 448 pages long. This is exactly how long the one of the other books was. It looks beautiful. You'll see the pages look on the edges like this beautiful indigo color. It's a cool cover. So this is called To Kill a Shadow by Katherine Quinn. Man, I might have to pick this one up. It looks really cool. Next on our list today, this is for reading ages 12 through 18. This is Two Truths and a Lie. I actually love this game. It's fun. This comes out November 7th, and it's by April Henry. It's a mystery novel. It's about a group of teens in a creepy motel, leaving them trapped with a killer. Well, hooray! No road trips for teens anytime soon. We have our character Nell, who's always wanted to be an actor, but she doubts her ability. Don't we all? As a member of her school's theater program, she prefers working backstage. I feel you, Nell. On the way to a contest, an unexpected blizzard strands her acting troupe in a creepy motel. Why are they staying there? Oh, I guess because they were on the way to the contest and okay, anyway. Soon they meet a group of strangers from another high school, including the mysterious and handsome Knox. Man, that's a good name. I like that. He insists they play the game, Two Truths and One Lie. When it's Nell's turn, she draws a slip of paper written in unfamiliar handwriting. I like to watch people die. I've lost count of how many people I've killed. Suddenly, a night of harmless fun turns into a matter of life and death. As guests go missing, it becomes clear that a murderer is hiding in their midst, ready to strike again. In a room full of liars and performers, the truth is never quite what it seems. Nell is going to have to act like her life depends on it, because it does. That's not acting. That's because it does. So this is called Two Truths and a Lie. This is by April Henry. We have two more. Next, we have a top release for Ghost Stories. Perfect timing because, December time, Ghost Story time is the perfect time. This book is called Where He Can't Find You. This comes out November 7th, and it's by Darcy Coates. Big name, big name. Don't walk alone, or the Stitcher will find you. Ooh, that's creepy. I think you could probably hear my dishwasher in the background, too. That was the worst timing dishwasher. Abby Ward lives in a town haunted by disappearances. People vanish, and when they are found, their bodies have been dismembered and sewn back together in unnatural ways. But is it the work of a human killer or something far darker? Don't stay out late or the Stitcher will take you. She and her younger sister live by a strict set of rules designed to keep them safe, which is why it's such a shock when Hope is taken. Desperate to get her back, Abby tells the police everything she knows, but they claim their hands are tied. Don't close your eyes or the Stitcher will remake you. Ooh, remake you. Oh, that's so creepy. With every hour precious, Abby and her friends are caught in a desperate game of cat and mouse. They have to get Hope back quickly before too much of her is cut away. It's like the hope is barely there. It's like, we hope she'll be at least alive and she's mostly intact. Oh my god. They also need to get her before everything they care about is swallowed up by the darkness, waiting in the tunnels beneath the home they thought they knew. I'm gonna get this. This is creepy. A chilling legend of a monster that nobody can escape, apparently. So this is Where He Can't Find You. This is by Darcy Coates. Our final book today is it's, I think, probably lighter on the darker books that we have, especially after this last one we just read about. It is Wish of the Wicked, a fairy godmother novel. This is by Danielle Paige, and it came out November 7th. Everyone knows a fairy godmother helps Cinderella get to the ball, but nobody knows why. For centuries, Pharaoh's family, the Entente, have been magical advisors to the queen. Their wisdom and foresight kept the 13 queendoms in harmony until a new queen, Margaret, takes power, outlaws magic, and executes the Entente. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. Entente. Only Pharaoh survives. With her magic warped beyond repair, she can now use it only to fulfill the feeble wishes of commoners. Since that day, Pharaoh has dreamed of revenge. The one way to reach the queen is through her son, Prince Mather, who is nearing that age when he must select a bride. When a special ball in his honor is announced, Pharaoh sees her opportunity. All it will take is a young woman named Cinderella who dreams of true love. With one night, one chance to reclaim her magic and destroy the queen, Pharaoh will stop at nothing. This is a lush, dangerous world rooted in the dark, beloved fairy tale of Cinderella, and it gives us a new, look at what the fairy godmother might be like, a different side of the fairy godmother. So this is for reading ages 13 through 18, so grade level 10 through 12. It sounds fun. It's a dark fantasy, perfect for this time of year. Great gift option as well if you have any fairy tale loving people in your life. So that finishes up all of the YA books that are coming out that we found really interesting, that were dark or spooky in November of 2023. There's probably a ton more that come out. Publishing dates shift around all the time, so we apologize if we didn't get one. But if you are looking for some other dark reads, make sure to tune in every Wednesday and Friday for all of our podcast episodes where we curate and find some cool books for you. We haven't read them quite yet, but they're just ideas. They're fun. We're all excited about them. Make sure to join us on our socials. That is on YouTube, Instagram, and our Amazon Live channel at amazon.com/live/darksideofthelibrary for more dark content. That includes spooky stuff, like on the Halloween season, we looked at Halloween decorations. We're going to be looking at some fun dark ghost stories and maybe some dark gardening tips, cool stuff like that. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Make sure to share this with your friends, family, loved ones who also love dark, gothic, spooky reads. We'll see you next time.